Alright everybody, this is a very exciting video, so welcome back. We are trying our hands on our very first bioactive terrarium. So right here we've got our moss, we've added it in with our dirt here that we've managed to get a hold of. It's been kind of hard here, some leaves that we've had for about 2 years from out in the yard that we've been using for our isopods, and we've also mixed in some cocoa fiber in with our mess that we're going to use as our base. This is it all mixed up, and I think it's looking really good so far. We've got it nice, moist, and in the terrarium here, and that's about how thick we've kind of got it for the most part all the way around, between an inch and a half. We have 2 hides that we're going to, so you can see where they're getting placed. Our cool hide underneath the moss there, and our hot hide on the right here, a nice cave for him to go in with the heating pad on the right. The hide is homemade from my hubby, and I've been gathering up some sticks and stuff from in the wild. We were trying to figure out how to add them in here and incorporate them solidly. This plant, our little spider plant, was our first to be planted. I put some dirt in the corner and also our wandering Jew, which should go very well in this. I'm pretty sure this spider plant is going to be a destroyed plant after a little while, a bit of a sacrifice, but we planted it in just some organic dirt that we put into the 2 corners, as you can see. And next we added our pothos plant. I love this thing. It added such great dimension and depth to it. It took me a little while to figure out how to rig some sticks in there to help prop it and keep it in place so that he would leave it alone. The pothos I planted on the right, I figured the roots were going to get quite big, and I'm hoping that one will test through the test of time and make it to the end here. This was my most fragile plant. I was really hoping would make it. I took a couple snips from work. I'm not too sure what it's called. If you know, let me know down below. So I finally found a stick to wrap around my wood here to kind of hold it in place. I've sprayed the whole terrarium down. This is the final look just before I put him in. So we've got record of it did look good at one point before the ball python went in. So I am super pumped about this. You can see all the locations, his hides. I think it's going to be a really neat place to see our big guy in. Just super pumped for this. I will remove the orb if it does become a problem, but I'm hoping it'll stay in there. It's just kind of a neat little centerpiece. It has a flat bottom, and I've kind of surrounded it with more solid moss and plants, and we'll see how he does. I'm really hoping he doesn't panic or freak out, and it just goes along with this tank. He has been known to thrash around being a spider ball. He doesn't adjust well to new environments or bigger environments. I'm really hoping this pans out for him. So this is the idea and the reason we have gone full bioactive, just a complete setup for my ball python, is he's been very scared with the enclosures that I've tried that were any larger than just a tote. So this one we've put a background on 2 sides to make it seem not quite as light. The window is on the right side of this, so I'm hoping that the light coming in and a little bit of artificial light on the left here will be enough to keep him happy. There we go. This is the whole tank setup. Let's start making it ready for the ball python now. First, we gotta check the temperatures, so we got our handy dandy heat gun out and started checking underneath the log and adjusting as necessary. Our first checkup with the heat mat was at 84 and 77, and slowly it did start going up, so that was a good thing. The next thing, we were getting ready for the isopods. We had a couple of calcium pieces that we spread around here just to make sure that when the isopods are growing and expanding, that they can get enough calcium for shedding. You do have to have in consideration all the other little things that you're going to need to add into these bioactive terrariums as well. So I'm hoping this works. All right, for our choice, we did go with our zebras. It is our strongest colony that we do have, and I don't think they're going to be too bothered by if it dries out a little bit or if it's a little bit too moist. I think they're going to be the best ones for this job. And like I said, it's also our strongest colony, so if I do put a few in here and lose a few, it's not such a big deal. It didn't take long before I started noticing them exploring a little bits and pieces of the tank. The next critters that we added, we did have to go down to the other shop and pick up some isopods, or some springtails. These guys are springtails. We went down and picked these guys up. It was kind of fun trying to add them in here. I have not a clue if these guys are running around, if they're having fun. I'm hoping that they are expanding and regenerating in here. They are so neat to watch in the little container. I'd like to find some more charcoal and get a bigger batch started for possibly feeding the fish and other bioactive terrarium vivariums in the future. I did just kind of dump a few into the corner in the end. It was quite neat to watch. So there we go, everything's in there, everything's working. I am super pumped. You can see all the locations, the hides. I'm hoping this works at this point. All the bugs are in there. It has been 2 days. Nothing seems to be wilting. The plants are really enjoying it. So here we go. The next step after all of this is to add the ball python and see what he thinks. He has been stubborn and not eating the last couple of weeks, so I'm hoping he will be happy. He was not impressed with me putting him in here, so I just had to cut out the film of me putting him in. I just put him down and let him see what was going on. He does a little bit of his head shake here. You can see a bit of the spider wobble. He does calm down actually fairly quickly, chill out and check the area. He didn't wig out like he quite often does and start going upside down or anything. I was very happy to find him in his cool hide on the left soon after I put him in here. So here is 2 days later. He's just got his little head stuck out of his hole. Sometimes he comes out and checks out a little bit more. Sometimes he goes in a little bit more. He did manage to knock over the wood once, roll the rock around a little bit, break a few plants, but all in all, I think we did really, really good. The spider plant is starting to be a little wilted, and you can see all the forehead marks on here from people checking out the tank. I think it's just awesome. Everybody has been enjoying this, but otherwise, for the most part, things are still going in place and working well. He has been so happy, and I am very pleased to say that he actually ate his first mouse offered to him right after he was moved in here. So I am calling this a successful tank move, and I think he is finally happy with where he is and his location. See you guys all next time, and I'll keep you updated on how this tank pans out.